Hi, my class, and this video we're going to go over our final exam review and make sure you review this video and practice, okay? And the final exam has big portions. Also, if you get a better grade on the final exam, you can replace it with one of your low grade midterm. So that's a pretty good deal. So make sure you study for the final and make sure you understand each problems. And like I said, the best way to do it is later you cover it up and to see you will be able to reproduce exactly the same answer or not. Okay, so let's start. We have a lot of problems in the final exams review. Okay, so the problem number one is here. They said solve the value of x by either factor or the quadratic formula. So the first ones here, this is x squared plus 13x plus 42 equal to 0. So I can factor. So I know the 42 is 7 times 6, right? So I can factor this to be x plus 6 and x plus 7 equal to 0. So if I multiply two terms equal to 0, that means this term will be equal to 0 or this term will be equal to 0, right? That means x plus 6 going to be equal to 0, so I get x equal to -6, or x plus 7 equal to 0, I can get x equal to -7. So the solution for part A will be x equal to -6 or x equal to -7. Okay, now let's take a look at part B here. Part B, this is x squared minus 2x minus 2 equal to 0 here. And for this one, I know 2 is 1 and 2. So there's no way we can factor this one. So that's why we're going to use the quadratic formula. So let me write it. So let me write this quadratic formula here, and you might want to, summarize that in a piece of the paper, so it will be handy. So we can solve this equation by using the quadratic formula. It will be 2a minus b plus or minus b squared minus 4ac. So what is the a, b, and the c? So this is a, b, and c. So this is a squared plus bx plus c is equal to 0. So we know the a is the coefficient in front of x squared. B is the coefficient in front of x. And the c is a constant. Okay, so now in here for this problem here, we say, okay, so let's see here. So what is the a here? A, remember, is the coefficient in front of x squared. So here it's right. So a is 1. And the b is the coefficient in front of x squared. So be careful. You always need to include the sign in front of it, right? So the b is equal to -2. So the same way the c's here, don't forget, you need to include in the signs here, right? So the c is equal to -2 as well. Okay, so now let's substitute to the formula. So x is equal to 2a. So 2 times 1, 2a, so 2 times 1. Negative b, right? So it's negative. What is the b's here? It's -2. So be careful about your negative sign. Then plus or minus square roots of the b squared. So it's -2 squared minus 4ac. So minus 4 times 1 times -2 here. So the quadratic formula is pretty simple formula. The only thing you need to be careful is this negative sign. If you're not careful, those negative sign will get you wrong here, right? Okay, so 2 times 1, this is 2, right? Negative, negative will become positive 2. Then it's a plus minus. So negative 2 to the square is what? Is a positive 4, right? Negative is become positive. So then in here, you have negative negatives, right? So will become positive again. So it's a plus 4 times 2 is 8, right? So you can have this is 2 plus minus 12, square roots of 12. Then the square roots of the 12, I can simplify a little bit. Square roots of the 12 is 4 times 3, right? And then the 4's here, right? So this is the 4. Now if you take the square root of the 4, what is it give you here? Is a 2. Then you still have a 3 inside the square roots here. So it will be 2 plus 2 square roots of the 3. And then simplify one more, you factor the 2 out. So this is 1 plus minus the square roots of the 3. Then the dot dot cancel. So that's why your answer will be 1 plus minus square root of the 3. So x could be 1 plus square root of the 3, or x could be the net 1 minus negative square root of the 3. Okay, so that's the problem number 1. Now let's take a look at the problem number 2 here. The problem number 2, the first one's here. Yes, they give you a line. This is a given line, 2x plus 3y equal to 4. Okay, and I need to find the line, find the parallel line. That's my simplification of the parallel line. And go through 2, 1. Okay, so the way we do this type of problem, the step 1 is let's always change this form to the slope and the intercept form, right? So let's do a quick reviews here. So the slope and the intercept, right? So that's the form we use a lot. That means y equal to the mx plus b. So we can get a slope here, all right? Okay, so now the step number 1, change to the slope intercept. Okay, so let's here. So this is 2x plus 3y equal to 4. So I minus 2x minus 2x. So I have 3y is equal to negative 2x plus 4. Then I divide by 3, I divide by 3. Be careful when you divide by 3, the whole thing is divided by 3, right? So the y is equal to negative 2/3 x plus 4/3. So this is what we call is the slope and intercept form. And then this is your slope here, right? So this is the end. So the next things here, we know if a line parallel to it, so parallel line, what is the characters here? Has the same slope. Right? So that means I know the slope will be equal to the negative 2 and the 3, 2 over 3. So now I can use the slope and the 1 point formula to find the lines, right? Okay, so let's put here review. What is the slope and the 1 point? That means y minus y1 is equal to what? Mx minus x1 is here. Okay, so let's see here, because line have the same slope here, right? So I use a slope, so it's y minus 1 is equal to negative 2/3 x minus 2 is here. So let's simplify a little bit, times 3 both sides. So I times 3, so this is 1 minus 1. So this is negative 2, x minus 2, right? So this is times 3 both sides. So the reason why I want to do it is try to get rid of the fraction. Then distributive property, so it's 3y minus 3 equal to the negative 2x plus 4. Right now I can move all the x to one side here. So this will be 3y plus 2x minus 3 equal to 4. Now I can plus 3. So this is 3y plus 2x equal to 7. So this will be my answer for the parallel lines here. And then the next one's here. So the part B is here. I want to find the line goes through. Let's use the next pages, right? So will be better. Okay, let's go to next pages here. So the next page, they said part B, they said, I want to find a perpendicular line. So given this line, so given x minus 2y equal to 3, I want to find a perpendicular line, right? And go through 1, 2, okay? So for this ones here, it's the same things here, right? So it's the same thing. So what I can do here, step number 1, what do we do like a while ago we talk about? Change to what? Change to the slope intercept form, right? Change the slope intercept form. So here this is x minus 2y equal to 3. So I change it to slope intercept minus x and minus x. So this is minus 2y equal to the minus x plus 3. Then divided by negative 2, divided by negative 2. And when you divide it by negative 2 here, boom, boom, here's cancel, right? So you will have y is equal to, here, boom, boom, here's cancel with x. So will be 1/2 of the x. You still have here, so it's minus 3/2, right? So you still have that. Okay, so now you can rewrite this is kind of like 1/2 of the x minus 3/2, right? So where is your slope here? Slope here, this is 1/2 here. Okay, so now the perpendicular line slope, so the slope for the perpendicular line, so let's set it here. So the slope for the perpendicular line is the reciprocal of the line and times the negative number. So if M1, is one line, is the slope for line 1, right? Then M2 is the slope for line 2. Then we know that M1 times M2 equal to negative 1. That means you flip it and then put a negative sign. So I know the slope here, slope for this perpendicular line will be what? You flip it, right? So you flip it, it's 1/2, you flip it, it's 2. Then you put a negative sign, so it's negative 2 here. Okay, be very careful. So you flip it and put a negative sign. And then now, using the slope and 1 point formula. So I can finally find it. So it's y minus 2 equal negative 2 x minus 1 here, right? So now it simplified it a little bit. So distributive, this is negative 2x plus 2. Then plus 2x plus 2x. So this will be y plus 2x minus 2 equal to 2. Then plus 2 plus 2, simplified a little bit. So you will have y plus 2x equal to 4. So I got my answer. So this is the line going to be perpendicular to the given line, x minus 2y equal to 3. Okay, so let's take a look at number 3 here. So the number 3 here, we did this before, right? So we find the inequality and graph it. So this one's here, this is x squared minus 5x minus 14 greater than 0. So if you still remember the way we did it, first we said, okay, let's set it equal to 0, and then factors, right? Okay, so let's set it equal to 0 first, and then you factor. So you factor, this is will be x minus 7, x plus 2, correct? Right, equal to 0. So when you set it equal to 0, that means this one going to be equal to 0, and this one going to be equal to 0. So when the first one, so x minus 7 equal to 0, you will get x equal to 7. Then the second one's here, you have x plus 2 equal to 0. You will have x equal to the negative 2 here, right? So you find that these are the two values will give you equal to 0. Then do you remember that's what we did in the real number line? So we say here, okay, so this is 0, so this is the 7, then this is the negative 2, right? Those are what we just find, right? X equal to 2, and negative 7, right? So now we do this. So the first thing is here, if you remember, we said we kind of divide this into 3 regions, right? So you choose any number less than negative 2. So x minus 7, if you choose negative 3, will give you a negative, then negative 3 plus 2 will give you a negative. So negative will become what? Negative will give you what? Give you a positive. Then in this interval, choose any number. So like in here, you say, okay, I choose 0. So 0 minus 7, right, is negative. 0 plus 2 is positive. So you have a negative, a positive. So what is negative or positive will give you is negative. And then the last ones here, you choose something greater than 7 here. So you choose 8. So 8 minus 7 is a positive, right? So it's a positive. Then 8 plus 2 is 10, is a positive, right? So positive will give you positive, so it's a positive. All right, so you divide this whole real number line to 3 regions here. And then now you look here, you say, hey, my original province here is looking for greater than 0. That means here will be my solutions. Right, so here is my solution. And because it does not have equal sign, so I have a circle here. So my answers here will go like this way and go like this way, right? Because I have a circle, because I do not have an equal signs layer. So how do you write down the solutions here? So you can write down the solutions here will be, because the first interval is go here, so this will be negative infinity to negative 2. I end up with parentheses because it's no equal sign. If there is an equal sign, then I need to use bracket. Okay, so solution will be this one, union, what? 7 to infinity. So the same things here, 7 is a parentheses, right? So that's because the 7, we don't have equal signs here. So the solution could be in this interval or could be in another interval, 7 to the infinities. Okay, so that's pretty straightforward, right? Okay, now let's take a look at number 4 here. Okay, the number 4 here is solving the system of equation. Don't know if you guys remember or not. So this is solve the system of equations here. So let's me write here. This is x plus 2y plus 3z is equal to what? 21 here, okay? And then this is a 2x plus 3y plus 2z equal to 25 here. And then this is negative x, negative y, 2y, minus negative 2z equal to negative 31 here. So we said here, for here, we said we can rewrite this system of equation to ax equal to b, right? We can say we can rewrite it into a different matrix here. So what is the matrix A here? Okay, so matrix A is just the coefficient in front of each variables, right? So I'm going to color coding here. So the matrix A is just the coefficients in front of each interval. So for the first equation, x, so it's 1. So it's 1, 2, 3, right? So it's 1, 2, 3. So then the second one here is 2, 3, 2. And the third one here is negative 1, negative 2, negative 2. Okay, so that is my matrix. That is my matrix A. Now I look at the matrix B. I'm sorry, X. So X matrix is just what? Is your variables here, right? So in here you have X, Y, Z. So your matrix just will be X, Y, Z. That's pretty simple, right? Okay, now what is the matrix B here, all right? So the matrix B is just your coefficient matrix here. So be careful about my color coding here. So the matrix B will just be your coefficient. So that will be 21, 25, negative 3. All right. So this is pretty much is give you for 3 points, right? So it's pretty easy to do that. Okay, so now this is the part A. Try to identify the 3 that AX equal to B. So what is the matrix A? What is matrix B? And what is the matrix X here? Okay, so now in order to solve this system equations here, so we can use the inverse matrix. Okay, so that means I'm solving these ones here. The X can be A inverse times the B matrices here. So I'm going to show you, of course, in here, if you calculate by hand, that will be pretty long calculation. So I'm going to show you how to use the TI-84, okay, to do it. So the first step for the TI-84, you need to input, create 2 matrices here. One is A, one is B, okay? So I'm going to quit this sharing and, okay, so I'm going to stop sharing here. Now I'm going to go to the calculator. Okay, so you see that? Okay. Okay, so you see that. Okay, so now in here for the calculators here, the first things here, like I said, you need to do is, create 3 matrices here. So I go to the second matrices here. So you create a matrices A is a 3 by 3. B is your coefficient matrix, it's a 3 by 1. So you pick A, then you say you want to add it, right? So you say it's 3 by 1, 3 by 3. So your input, I already input here, it's 1, 2, 3, 2, 3, 2, negative 1, 2, 3, all right? So when you finish this, you just set a second quit, right? Then you do the second matrix again for the, for here, you said, hey, I want to add it to B matrix. So B matrix is a 3 by 1. So it's just the coefficient matrix. Here is 21, 25, negative 31 here, right? So you input that, then you do second quit. Okay, so remember we say it's A inverse. So it's A inverse times B's, right? So the first thing is you go to the matrix again. So you say second matrices, then you choose A, right? So it's inverse. So what you do, you put this one is hat inverse. So it's a -1. So it's a -1. Then you say enter. Okay, so that's what your matrix. Then you need to times the B matrix. So what you do, you said use this one. So you say second answer, right? Then you do a multiplication is times. You find the matrix B. So it's the second matrix. You choose B here. Boom. Okay, then you say enter. See here. So what you have here, you have -63, 57, -10. So that is your solution here. Okay, so that's your solutions here. So let me stop sharing here, go back to my whiteboard. Okay. Okay, so this is my whiteboard here. So after I did that, so if you remember, so what we got the result of -63, 57, -10, right? So that means my first one is x, right? So x equal to the -63, y equal to the 57, and the z equal to the -10. Okay, so it's pretty straightforward if you use the, if you use the like a TI-84 calculator, it's pretty fast. All right, let's take a look at the number 6 here. Okay. So the problem number 5, I'm sorry here, the problem number 5. Don't know you guys still remember or not the simplex tabulate. Okay, so here this is my objective functions they give you. You want to be the maximize z is equal to, let me write down here. So this is 4x1 plus 3x2 plus 5x3, and then you are subject to this your constraints. Okay, so first one, this is x1 minus 2x2 plus 2x3 less than equal to 45. The second one, this is 3x squared, not x squared, x2 plus 5x3 is less than equal to 29. And then the third one here is a -2x1 plus 5x2 and less than 89. Then you have x1 greater than 0, x2 greater than 0, x3 greater than 0. So the simplex tabulate. So the first one's here, because this one, we say you can introduce a slack variable, right? So we call it, do you remember we call it a slack variable, right? So for each one, you can introduce a slack variable. So for example, what I mean, this means x1 minus 2x2 plus 2x3. Then you add a slack variable s1. So instead of less than, you can make this is 45 equal to, right? So that's why the tabulate here. So let's see here the simplex tabulate here, right? So okay. Well, maybe, okay, let me do here, all right. So we have, let's put it here, this is x1, this is x2, and this is x3 here. And then each constraint, you introduce a slack variable. So you have s1, s2, s3, and then you have what here? You have a variable z here, right? So you put a z, so you list all the variables here. And then Now you put the constant. Constant is the number in front of each one. So for the first rows here, this is the 1, right? So this is the x1. Okay, so this is 1, -2. This is 2 because this is S1s, right? So you introduce 1. This is 0, 0. There's no Z here, so it's 0. And then here, 1 to here, okay? So now what is this one will be equal to 45, right? So that's why this is Z, right? So this is 45. Okay, now the second constraint, I don't have x1, so it's 0, 3, 5, 0, 1, 0. I don't have Z, so it's 0. So this will be 29 here. All right. Then the third one here is a -2, 5. I don't have x3, so it's 0. So the third one, you add the s3 as a slacking variable. So it's 0, 0, 1. I don't have z here, so it's 0. So this one is 89 here. Okay. And then after you put these ones here, after you put all those numbers, the last rows we're going to put is the z value here, right? Okay, so now we need to rewrite z value a little bit. So this is my z's, right? So z is equal to 4x1 plus 3x2 plus 5x3, right? Let's move all this one to, so it's z minus 4x1 minus 3x2 minus 5x3 equal to 0, because I want to find the constant in front of x1, 2. So in here, this will be -4, -3, -5. Do I have any slack variable? No, so it's 0, 0, 0. So what happened to my z's here? Z is 1. Then here, the constant is 0. All right? So this is what we call is the simplex, the tablet is pretty straightforward. And you just need to remember how to construct it, and that's it. Okay, so let's do the next ones here. Problem number 7. Okay, so problem number 7 is here. Oh, I'm sorry, problem number 6 here. All right, so the problem number 6 here. Okay, so the problem number 6 is I want to graph the feasible region, and combined by these two is 2x minus y less than 4, and I have -3x minus 2y greater than equal to 6. Okay, don't know you guys remember how to do it or not. You put the pretty straight. That's pretty good. Okay, so let me see here. Can I get a straight one here? Okay, not bad, not bad. Okay, so now let's see here. This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so let's do the first one. 2x minus y less than 4. So just like we did before, let's set equal to 4 first. Okay, equal sign. Then we choose points, right? So I don't know if you guys remember, we choose point. So we choose point. So x equal to 0, y equal to what? -4. Y equal to 0, x equal to 2, right? So the first line, I find these 2 points, 0 and the -4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 0 and the -4. And the next ones here is 2 and 0. So 2 and 0. And then I'm going to draw the lines here, right? So this is will be my lines. So it's kind of like okay. So did you see the reason why I used the dot line? Is because why? Because what? Because this does not have an equal sign, right? So this one I use the dot line. So these lines here, this is 2x minus y equal to 4. So if you remember, the next step is here, we need to find the point, right? So in either side of your line, then to see what happens. So we say we always choose some easy point. So I will choose the 0, 0. Then I use the 0, 0, substitute back. Substitute back to the original. So it's 2x minus y less than 4. So it's 0 minus 0 is less than 4. So that means 0 is less than 4. Is this is true? So you say, yes, this is a true statement. If it is a true statement, that means your solution laying on the same side as you choose. So this is my solution for the pink line. Okay, now let's take a look at another one. So it's 3x minus 2y, like equal to 6. So let's do the xy's here. So when x equal to 0, y equal to negative 3. Y equal to 0, x equal to what? Negative 2 here, right? Hope I did this one right. Okay, so the negative 2, let me see. X equal to 0, negative 3, y equal to 0, negative 2. Okay, so it's a negative 2 is here. Y equal to negative 3 is here. Okay, and it's equal. So I can do what? If it's equal, I can do a straight lines here. Right? So this one, not too good. Okay, so this one, okay, so, okay, let's try to draw again. I hope this one give me a better lines here. Okay, so this one's here basically will tell me, right? So this is the lines, right? So this is my blue lines here. So the blue line, this one's here. This is a negative 3x minus 2y equal to 6. So do the same thing. Let's choose 0, 0, right? So let's choose 0, 0. So that would be negative 3 times 0 minus 2 times 0 greater than 6. So 0 greater than 6 is true or false? It's false. So 0 is on the right-hand side of the blue line. Since it's false, so where is the solution? Here, this is the solutions, right? Because we go to the opposite side, it's false here. So now we said we want to find the answer. So what is my final answers here? My final answer is going to be this area. Right? So this orange area, so this kind of this area is here, right? So this area is kind of like the orange areas here. Oh boy, so what happened here? Okay, okay, so it's kind of like this area. Why I go to the different directions? Okay, so here, let me see here. But anyway, so you see that, right? So it's in these areas here, right? So it's within the, so like from here to here, right? So you see this area is my solutions. Okay, and then let's do a last problem. Then it will be a good place to take a break. So we finished the the simplex, and then we're going to the next topic, like interest, those things. Okay, so let's take a look at number 7 here. Okay, so the number 7 here is they want to pivotal once, right? And write out the solution. So this is x1, x2, x3. So it has the s1, s2, s3, and z. Okay, so here, let's put the lines here, it's easier. Okay, so then here, this is a 2, 1, 3. So this is a 2, 1, 3, negative 2, and the 2, 2, 1. So this is 2, 2, 1. This is negative 1. And this is 1, 3, 1. This is 1, 3, 1. This is negative 3. This is 1, 0, 0, 0, 1, 0, 0, 0, 1. Then here is 0, 0, 0. Then z is 0, 0, 0, 1. Then here is 12, 45, 20, and 0. Don't know you guys still remember or not. Okay, so the all the numbers under the lines here, right? So those are the number, what do we call here? We call this is the indicator, right? Okay, so now the problems here, they ask you, they say the pivotal against this. Okay, so use this as the pivotal point. Okay, so now let's see how do we pivotal. Basically, is we using the row operations, right? Okay, so now let's take a look here. So that means my goal is, what is my goals here? My goal is want to be this one to be 0, and this one to be 0, and this one to be 0s, right? So that's what the pivotal means here, right? Okay, so now let's take a look here. So I want to this one, so I times row 1. So the first ones here is I need to use the row 1 times negative 3 add to the row 2. Then the next ones here, I need to do row 1 times negative 1 add to the row 3. Then the last one, in order to this one become to 0, I need to be the row 1 times 3 add to the R4. Okay, so let's do it, right? So let's see what I have here. Okay, so okay, so this one's here, right? So this is x1, right? So this one is not changed. So it's a 2, 2, 1, because this is my pivotal. 1, 0, 0, 0. Okay, I need to use the first row times negative 3 add, right? Negative 3 add. So negative 3 times 2 is negative 6. So add to 1 is negative 5. Negative 3, negative 6, so it's negative 4. So this is 0. Negative 3 add, so it's negative 3. Then nothing changes here, okay? Then here, 12, negative 3 is negative 36, right? So 45 minus 36 is what? Is 9, right? So here, this is the, so here is just 12, so this is 9. Okay, now in here, I need to times negative 1 and move down, right? So negative 1, so this is negative 2, add 3 is 1. So negative 2 plus 1 is negative 1. So this is 0, right? So this is negative 1. So this is what? Negative 1. Nothing changes here, nothing changes here, nothing changes here. So negative 1 times 12 is negative 12, add 20 is 8. Okay, then let's see the last ones here. I need to times the positive 3 and add. So 3 times 6 is what? 3 times 2 is 6. 6, so this is 4. 3 times 2 is 6, so this is 5. This is 0, so this is 6. And this is 0. And this is 0. And this is 1. So times 3, so this is 36 here, right? Okay, so now this is a statement x1, x2, x3, s1, s2, s3, z's, right? Okay, so we say the basic solutions, right, is the one. They said to write out the solution is the one with all the zeros here. So which one we have? This one's here we have. And what here? We have here, we have here, right? And so we can write out, so for these ones here, we know x3 equal to 12, right? x3 equal to 12 here. Then x2 equal to 0, x1 equal to 0, then s2 equal to 9, s3 equal to what? S3 is equal to S3 equal to 8, right? And then the Z is here, it's 36. Okay, that's what is the, the simplex, how do you pivotals here. And okay, so right now this will be a good place to stop. Now on the next one, we're going to go over to the interest and the probability and the statistics. All right. So make sure you review this and study hard for that. Okay. So nice talking to you, and I will talk to you in the next lecture video. Okay. Bye.